Shirley used some of the proceeds to buy a chateau near Cannes. She wrote a number of other novels, and later in her life launched charities aimed at encouraging girls to study maths. This led to her being awarded a Danewood for services to maths education. But did she ever reconsider her most heinous piece of advice?
I believe you can buy all this stuff.
Shirley Conrad, who's died at aged 91. Well, now we cross the Atlantic to remember someone whose views were diametrically opposed of Shirley Conrad.
I'm Beverly LaHaye, founder and president of Concerned Women for America, the nation's largest grassroots organization, and we are pro-woman, we are pro-family, we are pro-life.
Beverly LaHaye was an anti-feminist activist and a prominent figure in American conservative politics for decades. In 1979, she founded the organization Concerned Women for America, which championed introducing what they called biblical principles into areas of policy. The highest echelons of political life.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, a tremendous honor to address one of the most legendary in American politics. That's what you've become, and that's a very big statement. The Concerned Women for America, a very big statement.
Beverly was born in 1929 in a working-class suburb of Detroit on the cusp of the Great Depression. When her mother fell ill and became bedridden, the teenage Beverly took on the care of her two siblings. Dr. Emily Suzanne Johnson is an associate professor of history at Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana. Says these experiences influenced Beverly's views on family life.
When she becomes an adult, and a politicized adult in the 70s, and she sees feminists arguing for what looks to her like the horrible childhood that she had, with both parents working and children taking on more responsibility, she sees this as an existential threat to America and to the American family.
At the age of 17, Beverly met Tim LaHaye. A year later, Tim became an influential pastor, and for a time Beverly worked behind the scenes, fulfilling the duties of church secretary and running the Sunday school. But it was the rise of the feminist movement in the 1960s and 70s that put her into the spotlight. The campaign for an equal rights amendment to the US Constitution that would outlaw discrimination on the grounds of sex was gathering momentum. Beverly wanted to stop it.
Beverly LaHaye talks about hearing Betty Friedan, famous American feminist, on the radio. LaHaye says she was speaking for all women of America, and I couldn't let that stand.
We did not have a voice. When the feminists spoke, they spoke, as they said, for the women of America, and we are not a single block group of women. There are large bodies of women out there, such as we've got in Missouri today, who did not agree at all with the feminists.
It really would have just said that the states cannot make a law that discriminates on the basis of sex, but conservative women read this in the context of the feminist movement, and they're very much imagining a world in a framework of a man who makes more money and a woman who stays at home. And it almost passes through the whole process and then gets stopped as anti-feminist women take up this cause.
How much influence do you think she had in terms of changing the political landscape, in terms of changing public opinion?
I don't want to overstate this, but I really think that the movement is completely different, not just in the 70s, but today, because of the impact that Beverly LaHaye had. So when she founded Concerned Women for America, she's able within 18 months to set up local organizations for Concerned Women for America all over the country.
Did she get the ear of President Reagan, for example?
Yes. So she first meets President Reagan because he meets with her husband, Tim LaHaye, but she eventually develops a relationship with President Reagan separately, and she does this really canny thing of being sort of the consummate housewife, always, even in political spaces.
In just a few short years, we've become the largest politically active women's organization in the nation. A lot of the credit, of course, has to go to one woman. She's one of the powerhouses on the political scene today, one of the reasons that the because of her, the great majority of women once again have a voice in the issues of the day. Beverly LaHaye is changing the face of American politics, and she deserves our thanks and congratulations.
Even when she is literally meeting with the president in the White House, she has all of this talent for making people feel comfortable and listened to and respected, and practicing a kind of soft power that women, maybe especially pastors' wives, have to practice, of influencing people without making it feel like an argument.
The scripture clearly says that the mother is to train to love the children, is to be a homemaker, and the father is to be the one who is responsible for the family. In other words, the leader. And I want to interpret that Christ has no implication into that help. I love men become part of the team. That's what it really is.
Beverly LaHaye was dying aged 94. While Beverly was opposed to same-sex marriage, Baroness Doreen Massey was all for it. She was a former teacher, went on to be director of the Family Planning Association. In 1999, she was appointed to the House of Lords, where she met her fellow Labour peer, Baroness Andrews.
She was different, actually, from the rest of us. She looked different. She always had such a clothes, a bit temperature, and she didn't look like a suited lady for the House of Lords in many respects.
She absolutely
She had a very quiet voice, and so she kind of just speaks to us both of what is needed to not about the possible election.
Then she took a postgraduate certificate in education. As her teaching experience grew, she began to take an interest in personal, social, and health education, known as PSHE.
She gone to Gabon as a graduate teacher. When she came back after she'd had her children and she'd run playgrounds and so on, she became the head of year in a school in North London, and she took the lead on health education. And that's where I think her great interest in PSHE curriculum came from.
And she wanted to make sure that the PSHE curriculum was mandatory.
That's
Was
absolutely
taught
right, she did, and she was very disappointed that it was not.
I would like to see a curriculum for sex education from the ages of 5 to 18 in all our schools. We never have that. What we do have are guidelines which are not compulsory. I would like to see it covering not just biology. I'd like to see it talking about relationships, talking about negotiating out sex, including safer sex.